What's up, guys? We are back with another very cool deck profile. So we are back with some new archetypes. Thank God, finally done featuring all the old ones. We're joined by Suffer.
Oi, mate.
And Suffer, today you got a third place at the
locals.
Local championship.
What was it called? OTS championship?
OTS championships, exactly. That's it.
It was basically a glorified local.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So you and three others went for one, getting you third place, only being beaten out by Quanto, whose deck profile is also up, Raphael, and I got fourth place. So pretty good top four if you ask me. So you played Swordsoul today.
Yeah, funny story. I've been playing Birch, the Lyreless Tri deck, for a couple of weeks now, and it has been pretty well for me. But after testing somewhere, I forgot my whole side deck, so I didn't have the Harpy's Feather Storms. I didn't have basically the win conditions of the deck after siding. So I didn't really want to play that deck because it just felt weaker. And I had these cards laying around. The side deck was just like a bunch of staples, so it was kind of bad that I couldn't play Dark Ruler, or I could borrow your Dark Rulers, but I couldn't play Lightning Storms, which was unfortunate. But
yeah, we tried to scramble away the side deck.
I never needed them anyway, so it's like whatever. But this deck was actually, I think this deck for locals, this build is just insta win. So for clarification, this main deck is exactly the copy from the Bordel profile from the second place at the Case tournament. I think his name was Mark Saint Romain. So huge shout out to him. What I did is I took his list, started testing it, tweaked it a little bit. Actually wasn't convinced with the tweaks I did, so I just went back to his skeleton, played it a bunch yesterday on stream, and it went really well. So I just tried it out today, and it's still worked really well.
All right, cool. Yeah, show us some. Show us some Swordsoul.
So I will just go over these quick because it's not on my list again. So it's the standard ratios. This is 2 Taya. You never really need a third. It's very nice to have a second one in the deck for the grind game. And the Ecclesia gives you a better follow-up play with the Taya if you go for turn 3, because the Moye needs a card in hand, which you most often do not have actually. But yeah, I saw these cards a lot today. Like my hands were all just really good. It's just very consistent build, a very consistent deck. So I was very pleased with that.
All right.
So then we have the Tenyis. So 3 of everyone. I never missed a level 4. I cited this out quite a lot, the third Alhara, because it's the weakest one of the 3. But it going first, you just want to open a combination of either this or Vessel with one of these. So you can make the Chao Feng early, or just go into your Swordsoul Synchro dude. So yeah, any combination of these is actually fine, like getting them engraved. They're worms in hand for the Swordsoul. So yeah, I felt like you kind of need to max them out. And they give you a bunch of combo lines that you usually wouldn't have in like the DPE build or the blind second deck, which are the 2 builds that I actually tested a lot before I went to the Tenyis. But yeah, these cards are absolutely broken. These cards won me most of my games actually today. Then 2 more monsters, the Protoss and the Vader. So this is horrible, this never came up.
One Vader.
Yeah, it's a 41 card build. This is basically there to be a hand trap that is searchable from Chao Feng, and the level 1 tuner gives you access to level 8s with the level 7 Tenyis. So that's the theory behind it. In general, I never actually resolved the blackout. So I never popped my own Chao Feng. So I never searched Vader. It was just a random card that I sometimes opened going second, which sometimes did something. But most of the decks can play through a Vader. So I don't know. I think this would actually go out of the deck. So you just search Ecclesia for follow-up play. This card is absolutely bonkers in local formats. It's just dumb. Because you're sitting next to everyone else. So every round you know exactly what you're playing against. You can just call whatever attribute you need. Which won me a bunch of games. Like round 5 I played against a Dragonlink player. I didn't play against him. I didn't sit next to him, but I knew he played Dragonlink because I know the dude. So I just called Dark. Won.
Nice.
Yeah, and in the main it's just very free. It's a card that I often side out going second, because it's not anything. It doesn't put pressure or doesn't start getting through any fields. So I don't know. I'm not really for YCSs. I probably wouldn't main deck this card. But for any local or regional where you know the people that are there, or you can actually just walk around the tables next to you to actually see what they're playing, this is main deckable for that.
All right.
So that's the monsters. For spells, it's Desires, Vessel, Emergence, one of the Reborn spells, and Triple Chalice. Discard's absolutely bonkers. It's every time I saw it, it was really good because it just always gets you your Tenyis. It can also mill the Protoss for like some weird scenarios where you can banish it and then add it back with Adhara. I don't know what else to say. The Desires is just a draw 2 in this deck. You don't really care if you banish anything. The only bad thing to banish is the Protoss, I guess. But you can just go for Protoss first and then do Desires if your hand is good enough. Otherwise, you're just unlucky if you banish Protoss, I guess. For the Reborn spell, this card didn't really come up at all. There were some certain hands where I could, where you open all 3 Sword Souls and you normal summon the Moye. You can discard the Wind with the Fire one, and then Reborn the Wind to make the Yasi, for example, going second, which sometimes comes up. It's also a good top deck grind game. I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary at all. Chalice, it was good for the PK matchup, which was the only matchup I lost. We'll go over the matchup in a second, but it was an okay card. It's a good interruption. And for traps, triple Imperm, also same as this, basically just to not insta-lose the Scythe. 2 Blackout, 1 Order. I never resolved this card. It's very good in theory, but a bunch of decks can play around it. I don't know how necessary... It is necessary, but I don't know how necessary the 2 are. Because I feel like you could just cut one of these and just actually get away with it. Because most of the time you wouldn't need it, unless for like... If you only search if your hand is like really good. I would always want to go for Protoss with most hands anyway.
Okay.
So that's for the main, 41 cards. For the extra, play triple Monk and 1 Shaman.
Standard at this point.
I think so. Some people are playing 2 Monks, but I think you need the third. It didn't really come up today, but in testing it came up quite a lot. Where you can just summon your Tenyis from your hand, just make 2 Monks, go into Shaman. Like, it's just necessary with some hands. It's just very nice to have the option of the third Monk. So the third actually came up. Yasi, double Baxia, necessary. And the Chow Feng. So you use 1 for the combo, second 1 for turn 3. Going second, this card is not once per turn, so you can also just break boards twice. Chow Feng is nuts versus certain decks, calling the light. It also protects you from Nibiru, Veiler, Ogre, Gamma.
Yeah, a lot of cards.
Yeah, you basically the way you play this build is you go with the Tenyis into this before you normal summon. So before you normal summon, your Nibiru proof, your Gamma proof on your Moye if they would be saving it or something. So you basically, because you're playing this, if people know the matchup, you're forcing a hand trap on Baxia. Yeah. Which it's a fair trade in my opinion. So 2 of the Synchro Dude level 8s, 1 of the level 10s. This card was actually MVP. He won me the Ignister matchup. Card's nuts.
How does Ignister or what's it called? Protoss? How?
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
Yeah, this you need to play 2. It's fair. It's a light, which comes up in certain scenarios as well. If you cannot make a Chow Feng with the Protoss, very niche matchups. It actually works out. Like Drytron, for example. Like there's probably no Drytron players left on the planet. No offense. But if they're running around, you can just call light and you win the game.
Yeah.
Then the final 4 cards, which I don't know, they're like these 3 never really come up. This is nice because it's a worm. Like if you're locked and you have the extra cards, you can just make it. And it's a pseudo Burl Sword going second. The Dragoite and the Ruddy Rose I didn't summon once, but I summoned this once, but it was like unnecessary though, because they just dark weirded me.
Right.
The Ruddy Rose is nice in the Phantom Knight matchup if you're actually able to play. If you're getting sighted, it doesn't matter at all. But if you're allowed to actually play the game, the Ruddy Rose just gets rid of other follow-up play, and then you win. The same goes for the Drytron matchup or a bunch of Graveyard Reliant decks. Final card's the Baroness, which is just a free negate.
Nice. Good card. Are there anything spicy in the side deck?
Not really.
No.
Draw Lancia.
Best cards of the format.
Yeah, the only hand traps that don't really lose to tactics in my opinion, because they just insta win the turn. These only went in versus the Ignister matchup, but they're also there for the Bird deck, for the Drytron matchup if it ever comes up. Dragon Link even. And Lancia, also Phantom Knights, also Dragon Link. Like a lot of decks just insta lose to Lancia this format. So I feel like it was necessary there. I played the ruler. It's just free. It's for the bird deck as well. Like sometimes if you open like Desire's ruler, because they're anticipating a lot of board breakers, like evenly match for example and stuff, they will off the Desires sometimes if they're bad. And then you just have a free ruler to play through the field. Also 2 of these, or in combination with the evenly them also siding, you can actually get through the bird board.
Okay.
The bird is still probably the worst matchup in the game for any deck right now. The final card is Twin Twister. Again, I didn't have my Lightning Storms, but I felt like Twin Twister might also be better because of cards like Imperial Order that's in basically every main deck, and Anti-Spell that's also coming back into the format right now. So that's it for the side deck. For matchups, round 1 was a Swordsoul Mirror. 2-1, very easy. Just kidding, it was actually a Protoss Garden.
Disrespect here. Yeah.
Yeah, Protoss Call Water is very nice in that matchup. Round 2 was against Dino, which was a 2-0. I don't think he did much. I did order game 1 and game 2 he bricked. Game 3 was against you. You cheated.
I won.
Yeah, he won a die roll. It's a PK matchup. I didn't see double Imperm or double Chalice. So that was, pretty much unwinnable from there.
Yeah, game 2 you just had combo. I did not I wasn't able to play through it.
I main Protoss. I feel like if I won the die roll, my chances will be really high. But
true. Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
Game 3 I started and I did sight. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my loss. Then round 4 I played against Ignister. Game 1 he couldn't out Protoss, because who would have known?
Yeah,
game 2. What happened? Game 2 was actually dumb. He made a huge misplay, but he did the full field with a couple of back row, with the Link 6 and the negate in the grave. I could out the negate or the Link 6 with the big boy with this one, and I could bait all the back row and the negating grave with my normal summon Moye and the Tenyi cards going into Baxia. So from there I had the level 10, so I could make this and break the field. Then on his turn I drolled him, which he cross-outed, which made this life, so I won the game.
Yeah, the big guy, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of bad. And round 5 I played against Dragon Link. Game 1, Chao Feng Protoss, they can play. And the second match he made some questionable plays and ended on Chaos Ruler Pass. So yeah, I just broke the bullet.
Fair enough.
It's kind of
Alright, cool. Huge shout outs to CardGuild for organizing the event. Very fun, lovely community over there always. And big shout out to Team Bordeaux, amazing channel who I actually watch myself a lot, so his link will also be in the description. I'll try to find the OG deck profile for some additional information. Anything you want to add to that?
No, you shout out to him. He gave me the deck.
Okay, sick. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.